Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, head trader and coach, if you will, one of the coaches at TradeGATEHub. This is TradeView Markets, and it's Monday morning, as I said. I apologize about being a little late, but you know what? I'm not really going to go into what's moving right now because I'm just going to get to the point. I probably have done more macro research, if you will, over the weekend collectively than I have in some time. And I do a lot of research as evidenced by, but my notebooks or whatever, anything that I happen to write down. Uh, and I'm not going to get to what's moving today because you know what? Well, actually, the VIX hasn't had made a nice pop today. My point might be a little bit moot at this point, so let's just get right into it. Okay, TradeView Markets, and this is how I log in TradeGATEHub. The same for everybody else. We make it if it's easy for me, it's easy for everybody else, like I said. Okay. I want to make some points today, more macro than anything. And let me get down to what I post on Monday morning, not to be redundant, but this data that I post is always about quality more than quantity. But I do post the most amount of data on Monday. So hopefully it'll be dynamic as the week comes around. So let me get to it. I don't want to get distracted. I will actually want to get to my notes as well. Okay. Always go by and watch what Mike Santoli has to say. This is very important. And this is how the day started setting up, and this solidifies what's been going on as well. This is what Jim Cramer said. Companies will be hard pressed to get for. Okay. Says companies will be hard pressed to get forecasts when they report this week because they're trying to figure out the power of rate hikes versus their own pricing power. Okay, so it's as I said before, this time it's different. There have been pullbacks in the market. Stocks like AT&T and Procter and Gamble, I don't even think they went up when the virus started in the infancy stages. But as I said, by the charts, this time it's different a little bit. So what Jim Cramer says, we're in a rate hiking gaining territory, and it's like the under over. What will be the over under rate hikes? And this is what Goldman Sachs had to come out and said a little bit later after he said that. I happened to post these a little bit earlier than usual this morning. Okay, so this is where we are right now. It's not a matter, and by the way, this is not hyperbole. It's not an opinion. The thing that edifies this is the price action in the stocks, and that's the most important thing. Everybody has an opinion. Probably majority, if you follow it or go through it trading wise. But then after Jim Cramer said that, Goldman Sachs says U.S. Fed Reserve to raise interest rates 4 times in 2022. Now that came out, whatever, I don't know this timestamp exactly when it came out. The futures reacted negatively. And by the way, that it edified, not to be redundant, what Jim Cramer said, this is what's happening going forward. We're going to have a rate hike unless, and by the way, if we're not, and you don't think we are, everybody should hold or lay off until at least Powell comes out and says something next. Because you know what? Being a hero or trying to pick things in this market or even basically fundamentals have been thrown out the window. So it's better to react than anticipate. And you could see the majority of these Nasdaq stocks, I say it all the time, 40, probably even 50% of them now, including today, which is a horrible day in the Nasdaq. I think we're down 3% at one point, probably even more down 50% at that point. Okay. So now here, it's not a matter of now the guessing game has become not if we're going to rate heights or if inflation is going to be too high. It's a matter of how many times they're going to do it. I happen to agree. So let's go to the bigger picture, the chart on the S&P. Okay, we broke the S&P. We broke the 50-day, which is the yellow line. So the next one, which is the 100-day, it's around 45.90, if you will. So we have to keep that in mind. And by the way, for this to reverse and reclaim any of these moving averages, especially when a lot of things are broken, and even stocks like General Motors I see is down $2 today, there has to be one of two things to happen. Material news, which at this point is probably Powell, or any type of, there's got to be some sort of geopolitical macro news that gives people the confidence in order for these stocks or these charts. There's the S&P. Let's go back down. People keep signing on, so that's why this keeps scrolling backwards. It's a tiny little glitch, if you will, but we'll get rid of it. the comp. And here's the long-term picture on the comp. By the way, I don't know how many I gave up on trying to buy, excuse me, it's been a long weekend. A lot of research, as I said, it's paying off, hopefully, as you're getting the picture right here. Triple bottoms. Listen, double bottoms, I like to even trying to buy more. Triple bottoms, I don't know how many triple bottoms. Maybe Coach will even give me an opinion. Not obviously a specific number, but triple bottoms are the worst bottoms trying to buy. And by the way, it says held this triple bottom, which was what, 14.95 on the comp. Let's go to what's going on right now. Let's change screens. It's going to where are we right now on the comp? So it was 14.935. We're down 300 on the comp right here. Here's the big picture. So we broke the 200-day on the composite. And if I go back here, and by the way, this is not the same. This is the judge and the jury. It's pretty accurate. So if we break the triple bottom, which we did, the next stop could be the 200-day, which is the red. So that puts us what? Given roughly 1460, 1465. Going back to my chart here, and this is technically speaking, like I said, I don't see many things right now that are 1465. So where we go? 1490 was here. So we broke that triple bottom. So 1465 was the 200-day. We broke that. So if we don't reclaim 1470, the comp already, listen, who wants to be a hero at this point? So let's go back to the S&P. And a couple more points to make. And I apologize if I go off on tangents. And the reason why it's been so difficult I bought some plug. That's good. So I bought some plug. That means the market's rallying. So let me digress and see what's going on here. So I bought some plug this morning. Let me go to my chart parameters, my triangles. I bought it a little early, okay? So I bought plug what? 24.20. The lowest I bought it was what? 23.80. And it reached the low at 23.46, but I bought it at another stop here. Now, I was watching SEDG got a big upgrade today. And that opened positive, and that is arguably one of the best of breeds on the solar stocks. And I want to see how that closed and how that does. So let's look at EMPH, which is the second best of breed. Is that rallying? That's a doji right there. Coach, maybe help me out. I'm not saying it's a dead buy, but this should be rallying too with plug, and it is. It looks a little good. Run, which is most average to the S&P. Run, put in a low at 29.50. Now it's 30.74. I looked to buy it too. Now it's 30.5. By no means is it pulling any. Let me look at the other ones I have. Hopefully the Nasdaq's bouncing. And you know what? The Nas should be bouncing at this level. Bouncing. And why do I say bouncing? Because, first of all, we have to see where it holds that support at the 200-day. Keep that in mind. But coming in today, this is the Nasdaq Sentiment. So this is where we started. We're definitely in. This is going back to January 2021. So the Nasdaq at one point was the one that I like to bounce because the S&P, let me go to this one, the S&P future sentiment, although they're down nicely today, it still has some more working off to do, or the washout's not over. Let GM pull back. Let CF pull back. Let some of the oils pull back. So let me pull up ASAN. I tried to buy this one early this morning. I wasn't trying to be a hero, but am I up in it? I'm not, and I should be. ASAN, I am up in it actually. Let's look at AFRM. Did that bounce? All right. So AFRM, I was buying this morning from 73. The low was 72. Now I'm up in it. So it bounced from 72 to 74. But I had a $2 bounce just to get even. So what else did I buy a little bit on the early side? Oh, let's look at Hood. A beautiful sale of ours Friday. At what? 1465. That was us. 20,000 shares dumped it. And that today it hit a low of 1480, so that saved me 20 grand, 24,000. I have what, 4,000 left? My average price is 1580. Big deal. You know what I mean? That I can swallow. And that's not going to be turned into it. That's not a trade. That's not a trade that's going to turn it into a position. I already dumped it over the majority of it at 1640. Right here, this I'm okay with, especially with the insider buying. What else did I want to make a point at? MRO. Let me go back to TradeGATEHub here. MRO had a downgrade. Let's go to our upgrades and downgrades. I apologize if I'm going on. This is today. All right. Now, I knew, let's go back to this. When, for example, last week, pins got upgraded. And I'll give you an example. Let me go down here. Let's look at pins. Am I on the right page? Pins. All right. 3 days ago, whatever it is. It had an upgrade, big upgrade. And that's when I knew we were in trouble. Try to take my word for it. Well, you know what? I have to show it. I got this far. I'm going to go this far. Not Guggenheim. Perform 39 price target. Research calls. Benziga top upgrades. Where is it? All right. Piper Sandler starts pins at overweight with a 53 target. They got pulled, Piper Sandler. So when I saw, listen, if pins got upgraded here, whatever it was, 6 months ago, the stock would be up $5. That day pins got upgraded to overweight to 53, where it was 32. That told the story right there. Stock was up 60 cents. If it was here, it'd be up $5. If it was here, it was up 50 cents. The same thing happened with MRO today. Let's look at Marathon Oil. I want to make this an example of how upgrades and downgrades work and how they tip their hand. Marathon Oil today downgrades Marathon Oil to underperform. So Marathon got downgraded to underperform after a run from 5, basically triple. So even after the stock the last week went from 17, whatever it is, to 19, underperform, and I'm short it, and the best it could do is be down 41 cents. I'm pissed, for lack of a better term. And I remember when I had Oxy, and I tried to, and I did top pick Oxy, and it got downgraded to a underperform. Come on, at Goldman Sachs, and I said, you know what? I had to top this. It was right here or something, and I had to have a top tick and a downgrade to underperform, and the stock only had $1. That's when I knew it held strength. By the way, it's looking good right here. Let me go back to see if I have any questions. Is Crocs worth buying? You know what? Let me go back to, I appreciate that, Carlos. Thank you. Let me go back to a couple of other major points that I wanted to make. And this is why the VIX until today has been calm. And it's because and why the slow bleeds and Square have been happening. Look at this, my God. And PayPal and Amazon. If you look, if you looked at all these charts and the Nasdaq especially, and you told me where the VIX would be during this at the SQQQs, I think they would be having a huge precipitous move. But they're not. It's because everybody went into General Motors as a safety. Chevron was the safety place to go. No one's scared. I'll put money in Chevron. And that's the reason why the VIX is so low. And that's the reason why the swing trading for what I'm doing is not really working that greatly, because they're not giving you, when the VIX is so low. I wish the VIX was 40. When the VIX is 40, it'd be like a Doyle Brunson being a poker player and having every amateur person walking in the door. I wanted to be chaos. I wanted to be volatility. It gives me outs and it gives me an edge. But when the VIX is so low, it's no surprise to me that AFRM is bleeding, or a Square is bleeding like that, or they run into a Citibank, or even a stock that DraftKings. Listen, it's legal to bet in New York now. Bottom line, and that's a watershed moment. Right now, I can go on I can order a pizza and then bet 1,000 on the under on the Jets right now if I wanted to. That would be a proverbial dream come true 20 years ago. But if you told me by this long-term chart on DraftKings, by the way, and the variant is still playing a factor, because, Zoom made a move, Zoom, same thing. If you told me that the variant was where it is and flights are canceled all across the country, where would you think this chart would be? I'd say probably right here. We're in February, but unfortunately we're here. Bolton. That should be a positive. But let me look at something that dipped their hand as well. DraftKings. That's what my point. Gambling's legal. And this was a buy the rumor, sell the news with volume 2 days ago. Yeah. Okay, so it did go to 23 to 27, big deal. But if you said that we're in the middle of the winter and the variant is running wild, if for lack of a better term, that's an arguable position, but people are staying indoors and wearing masks and volumes are up across the board. That's evidenced by Schwab. Look at Schwab's chart. Come on. Or even by the accounts that TradeView is bringing in. I'm not allowed to show internal memos, but trust me, we're opening a record amount of accounts. But if you told me right here where DraftKings would be when betting's legal, I'd say it's got to be up here. But this is where DraftKings is be. That doesn't even make a difference anymore. Where's Chewy? Is Chewy? I mean, you know what I mean? This was the chance it could have made the bounce right here, the proverbial double bottom. But once it broke with volume, it was all over. Let me give another stock. Okay, this is one okay, let me give you a stock. We're in path. And this is one we're in. And this is why I'm going to tell you where there's an issue. Because the stock, by the way, I haven't bought it in the long-term TradeView account yet. I have some options in the active account, as you may or may have seen. I'll go through it in a second. But this stock has gotten 9 to 10 upgrades. JP Morgan over. You know what? I'll even show you. So I'm trying not to show it on my screen, but let me go to path. And this is the complete opposite of why I took a position or have a little bit smaller of position in DraftKings. It's the opposite. Let's go to path. All right. Morgan Stanley maintained cash. Okay, let me go here. Oh, for a second. Okay. Morgan Stanley, overweight, 74. Cancord, 65, overweight. Barclays upgrade. Isn't that way? Okay, let's go to even recently, 12. Maintain path with a neutral, 55. Upgraded path to 64, 59, 72. Now, path right now is sitting where? And I like the company long-term, but I'm not buying in the long-term TradeView account because the stock got 19,000 upgrades and it's only sitting at where? It's sitting at 38. So this now, path either has to have huge earnings that blow everything away in order for it to get back to the level, or God forbid someone downgrades, we sold some plug. All right, now we're making moves here. Hold on, we always sell the plug. We're getting back to real action here at TradeView. Plug. Why can't I blow this thing up? Now we're up in the position somehow. You know what? I know why. Come on, you bastard. You know what? I got this all messed up now. But trust me, plug. I want to sell some. Where are the other ones going? The Q's going? Q's are going. Good. We might have to sell some things here. But you know what I mean. So this is not that. Oh, the label too. We're the only one in the country buying label. How do I blow this thing up? Well, I'll go like this. I'll do it the archaic way. What's moving for us? AFRM, is it going up? All right, we're long AFRM from where? 73, it's up nicely, plug. So the market's bouncing a little bit, so it should, because the Nasdaq was oversold. Now the other cyclical's bouncing, that's the thing. Ethereum, we had a nice buy on that, and I punted it too early. That was oversold. Where did I buy the Ethereum? 24.30. Right now it's 25.60. I stink. Where's S is giving me a little bit of an issue, but we're making a comeback off the low from 40.74 to 41.90. Nice. The Qs, is the VIX coming in? The VIX has got to come in a little bit. It's still up $1.90, but I don't mean to go off on different tangents. I wanted to give you an example about path. And with all those upgrades, and it's not moving nicely now, I mean, it's going to take some time for the stock to base. It's not going to be a V-shaped up. V-shape up. If you think that PayPal is going to make a move like that, no, it's got to back and fill and back and fill. Square, I sold it on Friday. I had to. I didn't want to, but I think I could get it cheaper. This isn't going to be a V-shape up. Let's go to a 2-year chart, if you will, a 5-year. It's got some working off to do. Actually, it's a good spot right at 135. I'm not going to lie. I might try it again here. But let me go back to TradeGATEHub. And I want to continue making my points because that's most important. So let's see how Marathon acts. Hood. It's bad for swing trading. Do I have any questions? VIX too much to complacency. I think so, Coach. I mean, where is it? I want it to go up, but isn't the note what we say? I don't pay attention to the VIX until it's 20. Where is it now? It's 22. All right. I'd like it to go up to 30. I'm not going to lie. Is there too much complacency? Well, yeah, I do think there's too much complacency because when the VIX was that low and the Nasdaq was washed out, IGT, I got another couple of ones, Carlos and Moen. They're not completely washed out yet. If they have to rotate properly, let me go to my screen again. You want to see the Nasdaq rally, and you want to see uh, GLD hang down. You want to see Chevron at the lows. You want to see Delta rallying. And you want to see Las Vegas Sands, which got pinned today badly. This got a bad downgrade. This poor stock. You know what? And MGM was one of my better positions. And I liked it because it was listen, this is Las Vegas Sands, a yearly. This is Win. Broke everything. And I said, all right, this MGM is showing great relative strength. It's above all the moving averages. And once it didn't break, I sold it. It's still acting better. But let's go to a couple of questions. IGT, speaking of that one. Yeah, I like IGT. I like MGM better, getting to IGT. Crocs, news today. No, Crocs is broken. Let's look what Nike's doing. Best of breed, broken, no interest. Crocs is finished. Let's look at Lulu. Best of breed high flyer had numbers today. Look at that one, from 500 to 330. That had numbers today. That rally. All right, could have bought it on the open. I mean, it was down freaking 40. No interest. Lulu best of breed set the tone. What Skechers doing? That was a trade view position a while. It's still hanging in there. But you know what? I also had a couple of key points on holding and having a plan. So you know what? I'm not trying to be a hero with the swing trading. I'm not really taking any major positions in the TradeView long-term account. I want everything to wash. I want sentiment to be washed out. I want the rotation to stop. And I will have to go from there. Any other questions? The bottom line is I'm not going to give out any stocks or any major winners right now or things that I'm doing because that is for the active management. Right? That's what this is for me to comment here. My term in the my job on the videos, the webcast, is to give you the plan going forward. And quite honestly, until the Nasdaq washes out, and let me try to move my chart back. Morgan Stanley, Citicorp. See, Mara went positive in the Ethereum. I could have been somebody on the Ethereum because I saw Mara. Hold on. I could have been someone right there. Where's Mara? I think I bought Mara. All right there, 26 to 29. What a move. All right, but I'm going to leave it off here. So tune into TradeGATEHub. I didn't want to go over too longer. I will do this to leave off because it's my duty, and I feel like let's see what's moving. And if I always say, if I was coming back from proverbial lunch, what is the first thing I do? I look at, and hold on a second. Let me share. This is it. Bottom line, what do we have going? Marna, AMPH moving. BNTX, labor was going up. Let's look where I bought labor this morning. I don't want to look. Let me go back to my main page. I apologize. Can't apologize about being passionate, can you? So listen, you don't want your trades your trades to turn into positions. You see what happens in Hood. You see what happens in Square. You have to be tactical. If you're wrong, you have to put your ego aside and say, my timing was off. Did I really want to hold Hood or build a long-term position in it? Yeah, well, maybe the insiders are making a lot of transactions. They're buying aggressively, but they could be 6 months early. I didn't want to be stuck with this thing, but let's look with range and volume because we could simplify things right here. The range on the low is Pets is on the low. Oh my God, Pets. Lulu, take two. On the high is Myrna. What's on the high with volume? Tesla, nice move. Look at that one. Billy, Mara. We mentioned that one. Lucid acting strong. Oh my God, Lucid's up $2. All right, so that's good. So there's some strength. Net made a move off the bottom. I was looking to buy that as low. Let's look at Net. That's good for our other ones. I'm not going to look right now, but Net, Net, you could have had all you wanted at 101, at 104. You know what? That's okay. Let's look at our AFRM. Did that rally? All right, we're up nicely. We're up 3,000 in AFRM. What's ASAN? I bought that before the thing. ASAN, I'm long what? 57. I'm long 800 from 57. So that's good. Where is a plug? Get us out yet? Plug winner. All right, so we bought some nice things on the bottom. And you know what? I'm going to get off and I'm going to sell. Or at least I'm going to address the issue. You know what I mean? Because I was a little bit, I mean, I was the first one in the pool on AFRM. I started buying at 75. Stock went to 72. But now I'm up, now it's nothing. So let's look at the long term. Maybe I did catch it good. So we'll see. You have to tune into TradeGATEHub. Maybe I liquidate them by the end of lunch. Maybe I add to them. And I hope everybody could participate and give me a couple of plans and give me some ideas, because that's what works well. Let's go look at the sexy page. Turbo breaks up, halo. Let's move it. What's moving? Let's go. It has volume in the last 10 minutes and is moving the last 10 minutes. BCRX, huge 1,000% volume, moving up 4% the last minute. Billy, CRISPR, Bristol Myers punted, Mara. So Mara's again. PDD, another one of my favorite ones. That's still going. PDD you have to take seriously now in the chart. Where's Billy? I sold that at 37 on Friday, and I didn't want to. 41. What else? Best of breed, Baba. Charlie Munger. All right, so Baba pulled back. Look, that might be a red flag. All right, so I'll let everybody go. Enjoy. Do I have any more questions? So I don't want to leave anybody hanging. I got too many windows open. It's like the Caymans in here. I got all the windows open. Nice scalps, live mic. Okay. None saying cash is trash anymore. None saying that cash. You know what? I'll say another thing. You don't see all these, nobody's posting their P&L anytime, all these FinTwit. I don't see anybody posting their aggressive P&Ls anymore. Let's say FRM. We're going to hold this thing. I'm going to hop off and scale out a little bit. You're welcome, guys. Moen, thanks for, I see we're getting a lot more volume. Please ask me more questions. I mean, that's how you learn. And go through the couple of the videos, because you know what? Like I said, I learned to give a better product as well. You're welcome, Rich. I try to give a better product as well, but I also go back to learn, and I have a very good memory, and it should, this muscle memory after so many years is a sponge. But I write things down because you're more likely to do things if you write them down, whatever the percentage is. What's plug doing? Plug. All right. What's S doing? I need to get back in this thing. All right, so it did make a move from 40 to 42, and that had the good option flow on Friday. Where's Hood? No one posts a P&L without a P&L. Touche, Rich. I post my P&L. Here it is. Where is it? I post it, and I should, because it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and I'd be hypocritical if I didn't. I don't even know what hell it is. Hold on. Not trust me, it's there. This is what I'm looking at my other screen. I got all discombobulated. A layout unlocked. I want to discard changes. Now I lock myself out. Oh, now I locked myself in. Whatever. Let me run. But thanks for tuning in to everybody. NLP. Let's look at some option activity. You know what? If I'm going overboard, I know, Coach, that you want to keep it within 20 to 25 minutes. Maybe we'll use this as a tutorial. We'll keep going because we got momentum. What's an option flow? Coin, they liked it. I should have bought that with Mara. Coles, bouncing. Plug bullish. We're giddy up. Riot bullish. Plug. Exacts. That's for you, Lewis. DraftKings bearish. No interest. Upkick in Disney. Spy bullish. Mara. So Mara is the one. Maybe I see one more plug. And I'll add to it. Pins. Best Buy. Bed Bath & Beyond. AMC. Gold bullish. AMC. Roblox. That bounced nicely. All right, we're going to let everybody go. So until then, enjoy the rest of your day. Ask any questions in TradeGATEHub. I'll be back after lunch. Cheers. Have a plan. Trade well.